I am going to be doing a series as I play Mappa Mundi as a solo RPG. But wait, what the heck is Mappa Mundi and why should you even care about it? Imagine if Dungeons and Dragons and David Attenborough had a love child, and then they raised it on reruns of like MacGyver, Captain Planet and The X-Files. That's Mappa Mundi. It's an exploration and ecology tabletop role-playing game, that's how they pitch it, where you don't fight dragons. You fix the world. Instead of playing as wizards or warriors, you're a chronicler. Think of yourself as like part Indiana Jones, part environmentalist, part travelling therapist for a planet that's been through hell. You've been trained by the Mappa Mundi Institute to go out into a world that's finally crawling back from ecological collapse, and your mission is to reconnect, rebuild, and make things right without hurting a thing. That's right, no combat, no violence, no flame swords or fireballs. This is like a fix it, not fight it kind of game. Sorry to anyone who always channels barbarian. Whether you're patching up old tech, mapping lost ruins, listening to the wind like a druid version of Mulder and Scully, or helping communities come back together, you're saving the world with smarts, empathy, and elbow grease. You can play as an archivist, like a walking encyclopedia with the vibe of a history podcast in a warehouse full of ancient secrets. A diviner, like a mystic, the vibe checker, the one who's spiritually tuned in, like a fixer, which is basically, like I mentioned, like MacGyver and maybe Bob the Builder, and they had a team-up episode. I don't know what that would look like. Guardian, a protector, not a fighter. Think more The Bodyguard, less John Wick. The more that you explore the world, it's made up of these 10 massive regions, each inspired by real-world cultures, ecosystems and landscapes. It's a bit like travelling across a Nat Geo issue, but from the future. The rules, they're super light, so you don't need a law degree to play, and the story is built together. So with your group, but I'm going to be playing it as a solo RPG. The entire game is about telling meaningful, hopeful, and maybe a little weird stories about a world just trying to heal, and then how you can help. So I suppose if you're into exploration without explosions, storytelling with heart, and the idea of playing something that feels a little bit like the Goonies grew up and got a job fixing the planet, then Mappa Mundi might be your next big tabletop adventure. It's about to be mine. So let's save the world one roll at a time. Wow, that was cringe. So I haven't opened it yet, that's this episode, but I have done my research, and the vibe I get so far before even knowing what's inside the box is kind of like, think Pokémon meets Planet Earth sprinkled with a mystery of the X-Files in the heart of like a Tarzan film, and it's all wrapped up in a tabletop game that says, hey, maybe don't punch the problem this time. It's like a world teeming with strange and beautiful and sometimes downright bizarre monsters and creatures, and your job is to study them and understand them and protect them, not slay them. There's no hit points, there's no boss fights, it's just big questions, bigger mysteries, and like I said, zero combat. So instead of swords and spells, you'll wield curiosity, compassion, and a 71 card journey deck that lets you and your group, or yourself on your own, explore the world around you. You've got 30 unique monsters, 50 curious creatures, and each with their own quirks and patterns and personalities. Think Monster Hunter, but without the hunter. 10 regions, like I said, to explore, each inspired by those real-world cultures and histories. It's perfect for epic campaigns, or even, I suppose, one-shots, really. And like I said, the world isn't actually pre-made. You shape it. One journey at a time, kind of like if Bob Ross directed a National Geographic special, but with your D&D group. From my research, it's actually been funded by over 1,800 backers on Kickstarter. It's raised over £76,000. It's already built like a global community of players who wanted something a little different from their RPG experience, and now I'm going to be one of them. So let's open the box. I'm hoping this is, yay, synced up. There we go. Right, my aim with this video is just kind of be what's inside the box, first initial impressions, and then after this we'll kind of do like a week by week series of my playthrough as a solo RPG. I appreciate games like this are not cheap. I did budget for it because I knew the UK Games Expo was coming up, and I had put aside some money particularly for some games that were going to be at the higher end of my budget. So if you're debating parting ways with money, hopefully this sort of like really honest review experience of this will help you. So this is just initial what's in the box, I guess, because I haven't got a bloody clue. So here we go. Wow, book is at the top, so I'm assuming that's what they want us to look at first. So we'll have... Okay, that probably wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. We'll have a look at that first, shall we? Maybe I wasn't supposed to pull that. Maybe I was. I feel like I was supposed to pull it because there is a there's a sticker. Maybe I was supposed to pull it. Who knows if I wasn't. Anyway, there's some cool cards there. We'll look at those in a minute. So this is the book. Don't know if that was meant to happen, but it has now. Let's go. Let's go. This is cool. So it says monster. Noun. A largely and ugly and frightening imaginary creature, a thing of extraordinary or daunting size. Etymology, from the Latin monere, to remind, to warn, instruct or teach. Later, monstrum, a divine omen. A portent, a sign. Interesting. Right, so straight away, table of contents. Interesting. Nobody ever reads that though, right? Huge introduction, which is cool. Safety tools. That's piqued my interest. Let's read it, shall we? Mappa Mundi is a game built around non-violence. Problems are solved through quick thinking, wit and intelligence, negotiation and conflict resolution. Good old-fashioned hard work. It's also a game that takes place in a setting that was once riven by wars and is recovering from the brink of ecological collapse and extinction. This setting is populated by magnificent and rare monsters and creatures that some, unfortunately, wish harm upon. I'm just going to go to the bold text as I assume that's what it wants us to look at. Violence against animals, people and environments, environmental degradation, harm or collapse, interpersonal, intercommunity or interregional conflict and war, discussions of colonialism, either in the past, present or future, discussion of diasporic communities and or refugee communities. Wow. Heavy. We suggest that all players discuss those themes they both are and are not comfortable with during a session 0 before beginning the game in earnest. Well, I have nobody to discuss it with because I'm playing alone. Hi, Alex. Hi. Happy with those? Yeah, let's go. Right, there's a lot of reading. Christ. How to play. I mean, as a story RPG, you'd expect it. But let's be honest, we're not reading all of that. Let's go. So we've got how to play, which I'm going to go through, I think, on my own and kind of surmise it for you in the next video when we get into the character creation. That's probably going to form our next video. So this is really, the artwork is absolutely brilliant. So I think going forward, what we'll do is structure the next video on character creation, and then we can have the third video is actually starting the game, which is exciting. So that's kind of the first premise of the book, like what it looks like. As I mentioned, artwork's great. I feel like I'm just repeating myself now, and you've probably fallen asleep. I like to do this sometimes on live streams, just pick a random page and read it just to see if it's still interesting halfway through. So we're going to go all the way to the back, and I'm going to just roughly, shall we sing a song and then stop? No, we won't sing a song. You didn't come here for song telling. Let's stop. My eyes closed here. There we go. The chroniclers head northwards to study astromixin. Oh, I don't like it when they use difficult words. Astromixin. The chroniclers head northwards to study astromixin emerging from meteor craters. Halfway through the expedition, they realise that Kinzal agents have funded their trip and hope to weaponize the gelatinous properties of the star jellies. Okay, my interest is still piqued. Let's do it one more time, shall we? Let's go. Stop. Great, another word I can't say. Tiamat. Either way, it's a titanic sea serpent, and one of the 3 primordial forces that created the Earth alongside Balhut and Fate. Sightings of it are incredibly rare, and she has the whole ocean to hide in.
Taihakimi scholars say that her physical form can melt away into the salt waters at will. The Jitwatash, hardy seafarers living on the coasts and cliffs in the south, venerate her in their daily songs, hoping that the right combination of words and music will call her and her ancient knowledge back to them. It's great that just the words. Thank you so much for that. Why can't we just have Swordy McSwordpants? Why has nobody done that yet? You know? Right, we're just going to finish this off by looking at these cards. I've not read about them at all. Again, first impressions. So nobody reads straight away. Here's one of those pulley things again, look. I wonder if this one will come off. It didn't. That's great. Wow, these are cool. I'm just going to show them to you up close. The cat's now rummaging around with the plastic I threw on the floor. I'm not irresponsible, I promise. These are beautiful. Look at that. Okay, I'm kind of sold on these. And then it's just sort of like the generic logo on the back. These look really nice though. Don't know what they mean because I've not looked at it. I've not read the instructions. But again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but first impressions and all that. If you're still awake, we're just going to do this side. I'm assuming it's kind of similar. There's no pulley thing on this side though. Look, I can't pull these ones out. How annoying. Yeah, just similar. Epic artwork. Right, here's the plan of action. No, definitely no pulley thing on that side. Plan of action is, I'm going to go away, I'm going to read this properly. It's what I do. I like to read, but I don't like to bore you, and I feel like I am. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to read, I'm going to come up with a plan of action, probably character creation and a brief overview of what I've read in the next video. And then the one after that, great, they're not going back in now. The one after that, we will start to play. So hopefully that was okay. Don't really know, really. It's not what I'm used to. So if you're still here, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you a lot. Look at that. It's great. You can look at that while I waffle. But anyway, if you are still here, I'm only going to implore you one time to please do all those things you need to do to support my tiny channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.